Facebook.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to my kitchen here in Jordan. And today we are on week 13 of Cook the States, and we had a choice of tater tots or Oregon tuna melt and tater tots 1. So that's what we're going to make today. Hair's a little bit crazy because we're still under curfew, and
Anyway, let me.
And I am so far resisting the impulse.
I'll get him there.
But yes, we are still under curfew, and in fact we can hear the sirens going off right now at 6 p.m. local time. I'm just going to put these gloves on because I'm making tater tots, and there's an awful lot of starch and gooiness and stuff. I think it's just easier to do it this way than have stuff stick to my fingers. Okay, so what I did was I took 2 pounds of potatoes and I parboiled them. So for about 10 minutes. So not until they're soft, but you know there's some crunch in them still. And then I put them into a this is linen, but it's like a cheesecloth into a colander just to make sure that there's no liquid. This is quite non-liquidy, but you want to make sure that you know it's not a wet mixture that you're putting in here. Okay, so put our potatoes in there. And I'm just gonna, as you can see there, you know, I grated them, and so you can see how they're grated and sort of partially cooked. Okay, so never made tater tots before, so let's see how this goes.
I've never had a tater tot before.
A tablespoon of flour. Never had a tater tot before. Oh my God.
It's such an American thing, though.
It is an American thing. Okay, so some flour, half a teaspoon of salt. Teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder.
Will has just joined us in waves.
Hello and welcome. And some wild oregano, and like a 1/4 teaspoon of dill. Okay, now we're going to see how well my kneading tater tot skills are. I don't want to squeeze too hard because obviously I don't want the tots to become mashed, although that might happen here, I don't know. The other challenge is of course the shaping. It's not to be a challenge, but I was thinking I might use my my falafel mold, which is something I use obviously to make falafel, and I would use that today to see if I can create some tater tot shapes that would be acceptable.
I think it'd be acceptable. I think any fried good in any shape is acceptable.
That's true. That is absolutely true. We are delighted to be able to make these things because with the curfew we can't always get all of our ingredients, but we have a vegetable place right across the street practically, so that makes it quite easy because we're not allowed to drive cars either, so we have to, any food we do get we have to walk back with. So you see people with backpacks and rolly suitcases and all kinds of things, but we are happy to be able to have some nice shops close by.
Wendy has joined us on Facebook.
Hello Wendy and welcome. But it is a pretty awful time in many ways around the world. A lot of places people are suffering and struggling with this virus, which we are hoping will soon depart. I think once we get a vaccine or something like that, we should be okay. So I'm hoping anyway. But we're doing our part here by practicing social distancing. Okay.
And cooking lots of
food. Okay, so now the next step for these tater tots. I'm just going to
falafel shaped tater tots.
And I might, you know what, I'll take this off now. That is done.
It smells good. You say you put onion powder in that?
There's onion powder, garlic powder, all kinds of powders. Okay, so this is, that might work.
I think that would work.
So this is a falafel mold. And what I'll do is falafel you don't want to squeeze in too hard because you want it to rise a little and have a little bit of fluffiness to it. So let's try this. Here we go. First tater tot.
Could be a new recipe.
Could be.
Falafel tater tots.
Hey, that's a good idea.
There you go.
Now somebody else
Anybody
is gonna
like the
make it
idea of that?
immediately.
Yeah.
And there we go. So tater tots were invented in Oregon, I guess. So the Ore-Ida company, which is the big potato company, and one of the big potato companies, which I think is owned. Oh dear, it's owned by an even bigger company now. But this was started in Oregon, and then obviously is all over the place because tater tots are good. I mean, it's kind of like a hash brown.
But why did they make them?
Well, they made them because they were making all kinds of potato products, and they had all sorts of leftover potatoes. So little bits and pieces of stuff for making fries or making whatever other kinds of potatoes. And so somebody had the bright idea of saying, hey, how about if we squeeze all these together and fry them? And I'm sure somebody else said, fry them, good idea.
Leftovers, great idea.
That's what I would say.
More money, great idea.
Exactly. So I would definitely be all for that. I'm going to turn this one over because it's looking crunchy and crispy, and I'll do that one too. Look at that. I'm liking my tater tots.
And so these are parboiled, so they don't need to cook for too
They're
long.
You want them to brown, obviously, because like
Any good
hash
tater
browns and the way you like to eat hash browns especially, nice and crispy. And so all the little pieces, of course, help make it, just give it more flavor because you get a lot more air in there, and that helps with the flavor and the taste. So,
Excellent.
what else can I tell you about tater tots other than the fact that they look
Is there many other
awfully
facts
good.
about tater tots to share?
I don't know. But tater tots are definitely an American thing.
Yeah, I just didn't know they were in Oregon. I didn't know that was like a... What?
Yeah, this has been one of the very interesting things about Cook the States is sort of finding out. Some states it's really easy to find things, like they're really well known for certain things. Like, for example, next week we're doing Maryland, and of course Maryland crab cakes. But when it came to Oregon, there was a little more research I had to do. It doesn't mean that there aren't things there, it's just that I wasn't aware of what some of their foods would be.
So Wendy says it looks good and she's going to try some herself.
Awesome. I hope you will send us some feedback and let us know how it works out for you. That would be good. I always like to hear back from people when they make recipes and do things. It's always nice to know how it's turned out for someone else. Or if there are any pointers, if you have any ideas or thoughts, or if you did something that was different and you thought it worked out really well, I'd love to hear from you. It's always good to have that input. So I'm just going to cook these off, and then we have to do the great taste test. So I'm going to just get a little bit of paper towel here, and
You can pop it on the grill there.
put it on the grill there.
Can't think what it's called.
The thing.
Grill thing.
And these are not typical tater tot shapes, but I'm liking them.
So for anyone just joining, we just had a few more people join. You want to let them know what we're doing?
We are doing our Cook the State series. This is week 13, which is Oregon, and we had a choice of tater tots or Oregon tuna melt and tater tots 1. So today we're making tater tots.
Falafel shaped tater tots.
And these are, I used my handy dandy falafel mold because I didn't have like a traditional tater tot mold. I wonder if there's a traditional tater tot mold.
Yeah, how do you make...
I bet there is.
Does anybody know how you make them tater tot shape? Tater
I
tot
bet
shape.
you in America there is a tater tot shape tool. Because...
Hey, that's looking good.
Okay. Get me using this very tiny spatula.
Yeah, I was going to say, why do you get a proper spatula?
Challenges. I like the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
It's too easy if you just have a proper size. Well, I'll go for the proper size.
Yeah.
Clearly, I didn't win that challenge.
So what are you going to eat your tater tots with? Is there a dip to go with tater tots?
Plain, but I think you could eat them with any kind of dip. You would eat them with ketchup.
Of course, Heinz ketchup.
I would eat them with...
But like, do tater tots like have a dip?
I don't think so. I think they're like, you can put ketchup on them, I think. That's,
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's what
It's kind of like hash browns.
Exactly. I mean, I don't eat ketchup with hash browns or anything either, so I would eat these without anything, I think. Maybe salt and pepper. We'll have to see how they taste.
Jane says, afternoon, my lovies.
Hello, Jane, and welcome. Thanks for joining us. And we are here at the tail end of our Tater Tot Fest.
Tater Tot Fest.
I think I'm going to start a Tater Tot Fest. Maybe that's a good idea. Everything Tater Tot.
Everything falafel shaped. I think is a good,
that would be
a good new challenge.
Falafel shaped fest. Okay, I'll turn that off. And I'm going to let them cool for a minute, just so that
don't burn yourself.
Don't burn myself.
So you're just gonna eat it plain?
I'm just going to eat it plain.
Just gonna eat it plain.
I'm going to...
Some salt and pepper, or?
I don't know. I'm going to taste it first because it has salt in it.
Ah, of course.
So...
Hey, let's have a look at it. Let's have a good look. Oh, you...
Is that good?
Try to show the people. Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good luck. Thanks. Now you can eat.
You can hear the crunch.
Ready? Oh. It looks good. It smells good.
Oh, really good.
When I haven't got my hands full, I'm going to have some.
That's really good. I would recommend it.
So we'll put the recipe up on our website as normal.
For me, it has just enough salt. You might want to put pepper in it if you like a more peppery flavor. You could also put like red pepper flakes. You could, you could put some cayenne pepper in there if you like things to be more spicy and hot.
Wendy said, how about serving them with garlic mayo?
Oh, that sounds lovely. That's a really good idea.
That is a really good idea.
Most things with garlic mayo are... Yeah, you see, most things... Fried potatoes go with most things, and most things go with garlic mayo. So, I think that would be a winning combination.
Perfect.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today for Cook the States, where we did week 13, which is Oregon. Next week, please join us for week 14, which is Maryland. And I know one of the dishes to vote on is going to be crab cake. I can't remember what the other one is. But we will have two for you next Saturday to vote on so that we will cook them, whichever the winner is, on Sunday. Thank you so much again for joining us. And I hope that if anybody does make the tater tots, you just send me some feedback.